Hello, today we're making paper sticks. Now, it sounds boring, but with paper sticks, I'm just going to chat to you while I share this on other lines. I want to make it come up on the Making Maths Fun page for kids of all ages. So it's a group which we would love you to join, and the Making Maths Fun page for kids of all ages is the idea behind it is to help you. Are we live? Oh, that looks like it. So I'm just going to share that on Making Maths Fun for kids of all ages. And the idea behind that was the group already existed, but when it came to the point where parents were had no choice but to help their children with maths at home, then we started doing 2 lives every day. So you're welcome to come to as many or as few as you like, of course. And the idea is it's a resource that's available every day. Everything's recorded. We're putting them on YouTube as well, so it's on the Bubbly Maths channel on YouTube. And then everything's linked to activities on the AIMSEC website called Aiming High. Now, Aiming High is the resources that are made. Hello, hi Glenn. I haven't forgotten, Glenn. I'm not able to get hold of the sticks. I'm going to send you a link to a place where you can get them, that you might be able to get them in the States. I don't know, but I'm going to send you a link. I think you're in the States, if I remember right. I'm going to send you a link where you can get them online. Sorry, and I haven't been able to get them, and I haven't forgotten. Glenn wanted some of my plastic sticks to make bubble shapes with. They're smaller. Hi, they're smaller than the ones that I use in the session, but we'll sort it out after all this is over. If you want a big set, we'll find a way of getting you a big set as well. So just sharing it with the group. Have I succeeded? I don't know if I succeeded or not. Oh dear. I might be the most easily distractible person in the world. So what are you planning to do with the sticks? What is it you do, Glenn? Is it all bubbles, or do you do maths and education as well? Please tell us about what you do. Be very interested in finding out. I think I might be sharing this twice in the group. Oh dear. I would say I need a nanny or an assistant or a something. I might have shared it twice. Right, so very quickly I'm going to share it on my page because I've got a lot of followers on my own page that enjoy the maths that I do. Hi Michelle. Hi. So today we're going to make I don't know exactly what you do yet, but this might be useful. What age? Yeah, I know you've got at least one child, Michelle. What age are your little people? And I haven't given up on that book. That book is still happening. In fact, the book has grown. And Rajan. Rajan is, oh my goodness, this is lovely. Rajan, I'm going to be sharing some YouTube videos that his sons have been making. I assume they're both yours. And so his son has developed an ability to work out numbers in his head, and he's got a heart to share with other children to help them be able to do it as well. So, oh, nice. Well, let's talk. Glenn, he wants to make a show about bubble maths, so let's talk. Let's collaborate. I'm happy to share anything that I can help with. But Rajan's son is made this amazing video. Oh, this is perfect. Okay, this resource is perfect. It means they got lots to do, lots to create, as in make this resource, and then there is like a whole world of possibilities that you can do once you know how to make this resource. There's loads of stuff you can do with it. And going back to Rajan's son, I'm really excited for the videos that he's creating. I will be sharing the YouTube channel, and hopefully between us come up with some really great ideas for some of the YouTubes that he's going to make, because he can really help other children because he's a child, and he's got such a lovely way, hasn't he, Rajan? So I'm really looking forward to that too. So many wonderful things happening. Right, have I shared it? I'm going to probably share it twice again on my own one. I don't know. No, I haven't. Start a watch party. I don't want to start it there. Share a group together. Share now. Share. Just share per now. Right, that's it. Share it on my page. And without further ado, so I'm going to create this. This resource also exists on the Aiming High website, which is the, let's say, the academic, the page that really helps teachers. It's designed to help teachers in Africa. Oh, nice. Okay. So the 5-year-old doesn't struggle, but there's lots of lovely activities that will be of interest to the 5-year-old that doesn't struggle, and I've got it's quite common. There's something about, I think it's the way that maths changes in school, that goes from very manipulative to just being more paper and pen based. So it's quite common around the age of 7, 8 for a child to start struggling, even if they used to enjoy it, because they would enjoy the game and the doing things, and then it becomes much more pen and paper, and there's a lot more pressure starting to apply. Just going to close this door. I'll be right back. Good morning. Right, so for this, over the weekends we tend to be more hands-on, more preparing for things for next week. We're going to be doing measuring next week. We're going to be doing surveying. We're going to be doing both measuring and creating and using maths to do it. As it's quite interesting, one of the activities we're going to be doing is designing a home, surveying your home. That makes sense, right? Surveying the home that you live in, and then designing another one and building it. So depending on what age, of course, and the thing is that the younger ones can build whatever they want, whatever they can achieve, and the older ones can make it as detailed as they like. So I've got this nice long piece of paper, but first I'm going to start off with making paper sticks that so I've got all these lovely cameras and everything using Zoom, but Zoom's not working for me, so I'm going to have to spend some time on Zoom tech support to make that better. So just, I've got, this is used paper, old recycled paper, and we're going to get a piece of paper, some string. It's just normal, basic needs, just normal string. This will be saved, you'll be able to review this and play with it plenty during the week. So it's just string, packaging string. It is nice and strong. If it's too weak, then just wondering where I put my scissors. If it's too weak, then what happens is I'm going to fold it lengthways in half. If it's too weak, then it breaks. What we make is not going to be strong enough when we put it together. So I'm going to then fold it in half. Now here's a nice little exercise, folding it in thirds. That's a nice challenge for, see, I haven't folded it in thirds, look, but there is a nice little challenge. That's a separate session. My friend James Tanton did a whole session on folding in thirds. If you go down, it's about maybe 5 posts down. And that was fun, how to fold a tie in thirds and in other fractions. And it was very, very revealing what the possibilities are. Piece of string, have it sticking out long enough so you're going to be able to tie it to another piece of string without struggling. Being efficient, if you're going to make loads, of course, just cut loads all at the same time. And now what we're going to do is, I'm going to roll it down your way. We're going to just roll it as tight. No, just to be clear on this, we're putting the string where it's all folded nicely, so the loose bit is going to be rolled in, and then at the end it's going to be nice and even. So roll it in as tight as you can. This is not my forte. Give me balloons, give me soap bubbles. This is not my forte, so I'm going to now turn it around. It's manipulating paper I find quite challenging. Some people do, some people don't, some people are really good at it, but having folded it in half, that is now, well, okay, I can bend it, look, but it's pretty jolly tough. Now we're going to do loads and loads and loads of things with paper sticks. There is so much you can do with paper sticks. They are great manipulatives. You can make as many as you like and then I'm just going to put a little bit of tape on. If you use paper and if you use that sort of papery, sticky stuff, whatever it's called, then you can also paint it. But you can cover it with, you can basically decorate it in any way you like. And so that is one paper stick. We'll be doing lots of activities with those next over the coming weeks. And then, and you can also make these as long as you like. So if we're going to be using them for measuring, you could actually make them a relevant length. Now this is half the width of an A4 sheet of paper. Now in that, what they call the international sizes, are what we use in the UK. If you're watching from another country, your sizes will be slightly different. But so you just work out what it is for your, is it quattro or quarto? So it's 20, just about 21. It's like 20, it's 21. Let's call it 21 centimetres. Now, that means if you halve it, you have 10.5 centimetres. And so that's approximately 10 centimetres. So it's going to be quite a useful little device to do some rough measuring. And you can, of course, if you want something that is 10 centimetres, then fold this in half, measure your 10 centimetres, or if you want to make it a different length, measure 8, 5, whatever you want it to be, or fold it in half again, in which case we've actually got much closer to the 5. Just fold it a little bit, just maybe trim off a bit at the end and then fold that in half. Yeah, make it 10 and then fold it in half and you'll have 5 centimetres. The point is you can make it any length you like to measure. But one of the most powerful lengths, and it's fun to do and it's useful, and if you make loads you'll see just how useful it is. So I've got some, this is some old wallpaper, you know, the lining paper. If you've got any old flip chart paper or old newspaper, and I'm also going to show you how to do it with just, hi Vivica, hi Louise, oh my goodness, hi Louise, long time no see, hi James, oh, it's the lovely Claire as well, oh my goodness, welcome, so good to see you. So I'm using this nice wide paper. I will just show you just now how you can make it just using A4 paper, just whatever scraps you've got. Hey Roddy, this is lovely. Ray is having a lovely time, by the way, Rod. This is really working out. That's my cousin in South Africa, and his grandson is a regular. His grandson's 5. And Carling. Oh my goodness, this is so lovely. People from all over the place joining. Some of my lovely favourite people. So, I'm going to trim, oops, let's put this back down here again. There, okay. I'm going to fold it in half so we have more or less the same sizes. Now, you can do this using smaller ones, it's just harder. If you use sheets of A3 work really well, actually. I don't have any A3 paper. And I'm sure that people are running out. Hopefully we can still get old newspapers. Improvise, just, oh look, it wasn't actually all hooked up together. So that's going to be, I'm going to make one stick, and this is going to be one of the sheets. I'm going to make this one of the sheets. And the idea being I'm going to just use 2 of these. What I'm looking for is a metre in length. So I've measured my metre. I am a metre, I'm going to have to go further back in the room. I'm a metre from my shoulder to the end of my thumb. So I've measured my metre. I know my metre, and I encourage everybody to actually measure theirs and know theirs, because it's just a useful thing to know. It's super useful when you go to IKEA or go to the you know, if you want to estimate the size of something, if you know what, I know my height metre as well, it comes up to here. So my vertical metre comes up to here, and my arm metre is the end of my thumb, from my shoulder to the end of my thumb. I've got all this technology set up to do this with Zoom, and it all comes out beautifully, and it's not working, so there you go. So I'm going to do 2 of these, and then you will see. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Ooh, it's curling up for me. Very helpful. So if you're using some of the old-fashioned newspaper where you get the really big sheets, if you have 2 sheets, just 2 sheets of those, this one I'm going to fold in half. Actually, I'm going to fold this in thirds. Aim down so you can see what I'm doing, more or less. Whoopsie. There we go. And we're going to make a meter stick. We're going to make a meter stick. And the power of this isn't the actual stick itself. It's not having 1 meter stick. The power of this is actually making 10 meter sticks and then use it. So we're going to join these 2 together. Whoops, now I've got 2. Join it in such a way that they overlap. They're going to overlap, and then of course we're going to put a piece of string through. And the string is going to be there so that we can then tie these meter sticks together. So should we put that through before joining them together, through there. And now through this one. There we go, all the way through the 2 of them. This is actually much better done with 2 people, so it's great if you have older and younger children working together, or children of any age working with a grown-up. It's a fantastic thing to do for older and younger children working together. We encourage family activities. One of the best ways to overcome negative feelings about maths, or just generally, I've lost it, just generally make maths more engaging, is by making it a family activity. But you've got to ensure, if a child has not become engaged in an activity that you think was going to be the best thing since sliced bread, and they don't become engaged, put it to one side, bring it out another day, and you know what? Another day they probably will. So make sure each time you find an activity, there we share resources that you can go through to wonderful websites, the Enrich website and the Aiming High website, and then we've got other contributors that are putting in other activities all the time. So just do some homework and make sure, especially if you've got someone who's not very keen on maths, make sure that the activities you're doing, that you're all enjoying it. It's like if you have a family games night and one of the participants is not enjoying it, then nobody gets to enjoy it because that one person is grumpy. So it's the same with maths. You want to make sure that everyone's enjoying it. Now I'm actually doing this the old-fashioned way. I don't have a longer measuring tape, so I'm measuring 30, 60, 90 on a piece of string, and then another 10 so that I've got now something to measure my meter. So I'll cut that. And now I have a meter length of string. I'm going to double check because I know my meter goes from my shoulder to the end of my thumb. Another way you could check is you could put not necessarily a mark on the wall, but some way mark like a vertical line so that you know that's a meter. So just make sure it's well measured. But that is a way that you've now got a meter measure without having to take the ruler and fiddle with it. So right, we have, aim it over there so you see the end. So I'm going to be holding really holding one end of the string at one end of the paper, which is that bit you can't see, and this bit, the string's too long. So I'm going to stretch it out a bit more, and there we go. We now have the string touches the ends of both of these bits of paper. This is where having a second person is super helpful. So now with my one hand, I've got to, I should have had some tape ready, shouldn't I? I'm going to push it down. And hi Vivica, how is your daughter? Is she going to enjoy this? She's about the right age, isn't she? Oh, wrong Vivica. Sorry, wrong Vivica. Hi Vivica. Wrong daughter. Sorry, darling. Vivica's got a son, and I think he's well beyond this now. Good morning. So I'm going to take that down so that I don't lose my spot. I apologise, Vivica, I can't see very well, so I can't see on this angle. And now that spot's now secure, so I'm going to, well, I don't really need to tape the rest down because I'm now going to roll it. Now this is not easily done with one person because you have to roll it over there and roll it over here. This is definitely a family activity. Roll it over here, roll it over here. Now we're rolling it towards the string. String again is in the section where it's folded, so that when we get to the end it's nice and tidy. This is not going to be very super nice and tidy because I'm having to do both ends on my own. Much tighter if you have two pairs of hands rolling it up simultaneously. Everyone at every end. So this will be a good one for Sean and Danny and Ray. Rod. Okay. And roll it up. Roll it much tighter than this. As I said, this is me on my own. So it's much better if it's tighter. But I'm just demonstrating the process so that we have, come on tape, hello, come on, you can do it. There you go. Ah, we managed it. So I'm now going to put a bit on there so it holds tight. Yeah. Apparently it's called, what's the name of it? There's a name for it. These days they've got a name for everything. Dyspraxia, I think it's called. It means everything's just a struggle. It's coordination issues. It doesn't matter, you still get the job done. It's just that some people are able to do it much more carefully than others. And definitely if you're working in a team, I'm just going to tack it down so that we can use it. I'm going to wrap it. This is not what you want to be doing. I'm just tacking it down so that I can just demonstrate the rest of it. This is way too loose. It needs to be much tighter than that. Make sure your string is still out on both ends. That's super useful. And this is a good time to release it again if it comes loose. I'm just going to make this one. Again, you can decorate this. And we've got activities to follow with this. You've got the instructions for making the meter stick. Now, my first instinct, oh dear, is to bop someone on the head with it. Sorry, it's just, hello Russell, welcome. So one of the first things you can do, and it doesn't matter what age, this can be done at any age, and the vocabulary changes, the language changes, but it can be done at any age. So you could say, okay, how wide is the room? Now for an older person, maybe a teenager or something, it would be how many meters, and even estimate if it's going to be a fraction of a meter, estimate exactly, not exactly because it's an estimate, but if it's going to be between 3 and 4 meters, is it going to be 3.5 or 3 3/4 or whatever, or how many centimeters in all? And for a younger one, it's simply how many sticks. The vocabulary simply varies according to who. So a child can see, okay, how many sticks? This is how many of these. How many would we need to go from end to end? And then you measure it. So we've got whoopsie. And if you make enough sticks, you say, okay, so you think it's 100, right? Let's start making 100. This is what a 5-year-old might say. And you start making 100 sticks, and you can get a bit tired once you've made 4. So well, let's see how well we do with or even make two. Make one, and if they still think it's 100, then make another one and tie those two together and see how far they reach into the room, and then ask again. Okay, so we've got, that's 2. Are we going to need another 98 to get to the wall? Let's make another one. Make 3, and then over here, and then make another one to see what fraction. Now, the power is in the bit of the meter. So you can have 3. This was 3 meters. 3 meters and a bit, which is what you say to maybe a 5-year-old or a 4-year-old, or you might use a half, because it's 3 and a bit. It's more than 3, but it's less than 4. And a 4 or 5-year-old understands a half. It's very approximate, but at least they realise it's not 3. 3 doesn't reach. 4's too many, so it's between 3 and 4. So we could say 3.5 or 3. It's better to say 3 and a bit. But with the older ones, we want to start talking in centimetres, and it's a great way to get really up close and personal about the measuring, just how long a metre is and just how long a centimetre is. And then you could talk about it in terms of metres, centimetres and millimetres. I don't know about other countries now, but in the UK, if you go to a lumberyard to buy any kind of wood, it's all measured in millimetres. And I kind of understand why, because to be precise, to be accurate, and when you're cutting lumber, you have to be accurate. If you're measuring it in millimetres, if you're doing it to the nearest millimetre, then you know it's going to be accurate. Whereas if you say 256.5 centimetres is a lot harder to get your head around than 2,550, what was it? 2,565 millimetres. It's one number. You don't have any decimals involved. It's just works easier, more easily in the lumber industry. So these are our 2 sticks. You can make sticks of any size you like. These are the sticks we're going to be making for doing lots of manipulation with area, perimeter, counting, for lots of different shapes, for puzzles, for just different puzzles to make lots of 3D shapes, 2D shapes. And this is what we're going to be using to look. We can even make those. Everything we make with this, we can make with these. Only supersized. And one of the things that I will be encouraging you to make, we'll be making it with this one, but I'll be encouraging you to make it, is a cube. So if you make a cube out of this, can you imagine? It's all made out of squares. It's going to be quite small and quite easy to make. One of the first things you'd do is really get familiar. You'd learn a lot about a cube. You learn a lot if you're doing it with little ones, but you learn a whole lot more if you're doing it with big ones. And one of the things that you learn is when you tie these together, make squares with these, because they're quite rigid at the ends, they kind of hold themselves up. Whereas you do it with this, the proportion's different, and the edges are a lot thinner, so you really find out just how rigid a square is. And it's not very rigid. So it's one of the many discoveries that you make. And then you can make shapes out of all kinds of different shapes out of different shaped faces, and you explore the power of squares versus triangles, that sort of thing. So those are our resources. We'll be using these on an ongoing basis. There'll be a link also here to the resource, the main resource. It's a PDF that you can print out to see it, written instructions, and then there's lots of other resources where you'll be doing some real proper maths, but it doesn't have to be done like in a maths classroom, but still learning proper maths. As long as you're asking the right questions, as long as you're doing the right kind of activities, then you have the power. You have the power to... It's not about teaching. There's so many parents are out there, which is why we started doing these lives, that are going, I don't know how to teach my child. I've had parents in tears. I've had stories about children in tears. And literally there was one the other day where a question was asked and she just burst into tears. And it is, I think, parents for the first time in a long time of discovering things about their children that they didn't know, for example, and also discovering that teaching maths is actually not that easy, and it's not easy for teachers either, and the key is in how it's done. So it's, if you think of it as facilitating the learning of maths, then that is, so you're changing it around. You're not, it's not your teaching, you're not delivering some wisdom and say, here's this, take it, learn it, do it, repeat it, rinse, repeat. One of my favourite mathematicians is called Buckminster Fuller. And one of my favourite sayings of his is, if I ran a school, I would give medium marks for children that know the right answer, for being good parrots, because you can work things out and not really understand it. And I give top marks to the children that got things wrong and told me what they got wrong and what they learnt from it. And those are the children I would give top marks to. It's all about attitude. It's not about the need to get things right. It's about the joy of learning. It's about the mindset, the approach you have to learning. And if we all approach, well, life in general, this is huge. There's so many life skills in learning maths. So if we can actually get our children to simply embrace learning, embrace the lessons you get from not knowing, from working things out, from struggling, and then when you come out the other side of struggling, it's like, the light comes on, the sun comes out, the rays come down. You literally, it's euphoric. There is actually a chemical reaction when you've struggled hard and then you finally get it, that moment. It's actually there's a chemical reaction in the body. And if we can all be addicted to that, then we'll actually approach every problem in life, not just in maths, but in life. You can approach every problem in life with an element of excitement, knowing you're getting through the struggle, and it can be very frustrating. It's like, I'm never going to get this. But you keep, next day, go to sleep on it, come back the next day, or come back a week later, or just put it down. Don't even look at it. But allow it to keep mulling around in the back of your head. And then one day, have you ever had that? Have you ever had a problem that you've one day just go, oh, wait a minute, let me give this a go. You might go and give that a go and it doesn't solve it, but you've got another step forward, and it's all part of the process. And if we all live like that and we teach our children, that's what we need to teach our children, is to how to have that amazing mindset, that learning mindset, that growth mindset, to quote the great Carol Dweck. If we live with that and you apply that to every aspect of our lives, we can learn it doing maths, and we can take advantage of this extraordinary period we've got now to actually facilitate the learning of maths through persevering through the problem, perseverance, determination, and to reach that eureka moment that really gives such a high. So that's it. There's the resources. I'll put the links on to the YouTube channel. Please do. All of these videos are going up slowly but surely onto the Bubbly Maths YouTube channel. And we've got the Maths Toys YouTube channel, which is, there is, for all the resources, that is really useful resources, and there are parents' notes being attached to those daily. I think there's one resource going on every day. We've got our amazing Tony Bearden, who's the founder of AIMSEC and Enrich, if you've ever heard of it. It's a fantastic website, which we recommend people to use. So she is writing a resource for parents every day, and that means that even though the resources that are on at the moment are aimed at teachers, they are still easy to understand. They're designed to be easy to understand. But in addition to that, she's creating resources for parents as well to make it really, those resources really powerful and allow you to help your children benefit from learning maths themselves, from getting it inductively, from having insight into problems rather than thinking, I just have to learn it and I have to parrot it out. And okay, and now to add these, you have to. This is the way we do it. No, what have I got to do next? Oh, I can't remember what I've got to do next. If you actually understand how everything works together, then you're not thinking, what do I have to do next? What is the next bit of the instruction? It's actually, oh, right, no, we've got these numbers, and this is how they work together, so you can work out what to do with them. So thank you for joining, and I'll be back at 8 o'clock tonight. I think what we'll probably do at 8 o'clock tonight is do some activities, but instead of using paper sticks, I'm probably going to do some bits with balloons because I like my balloons, and that means I don't have to make so many paper sticks all on my little Onio with 2 hands. At least one thing is guaranteed: if you're with a child, there's 4 hands, no matter what age the child is, and the more children you have, the better, because they can get together, family project, make loads of paper sticks, and there'll be lots of activities. And you don't have to wait for us to show you what to do. You can just start constructing things. Start constructing whatever you want. Everything you construct, you're doing maths. Whenever you're constructing anything, you're looking at proportion, you're looking at how shapes work, which shapes are strong, which shapes are weak, what stands up on its own, what doesn't, what you need to make something stand up, all of that. It's all maths and science and engineering and wonderful. Oh, and did you know that I may as well start talking about it now. On September the 17th, there's no reason why we need to change that, whether people are at home or at school, we have the global STEAM lesson. Now people are like, what is STEAM, for crying out loud? You might have heard of STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics. Well, STEAM is science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics. I call it creativity because creativity puts the power into STEM. So you can't invent anything without your imagination. On that, we'll see you 8 o'clock tonight. That's UK time, London time. 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, London time. 8 o'clock tomorrow night, London time. 9 o'clock the next day, London time. Yeah. On Monday night, we've got the wonderful Stuart Barber, Doody, who's created a game called Some Sort, and it's a kind of based on dominoes, but it uses lots of different numbers, and there's games that work for different age levels, and give you lots and lots and lots of ideas to help your children with number sense as well, and just games. He's got an unlimited source of ideas for games, and games is the key. Find the game in maths and the maths in games. Take care. See you later. Thank you for joining.